Now for today's lesson, we're going to start a new topic, chapter 4, which is solving simultaneous linear equations. Okay, but I'm going to skip 4.1. Okay, perhaps we can refer to our textbook at the same time. Now, please open up your textbook and refer to page 112. Okay, page 112. 4-1, solving simultaneous linear equations by elimination. Now I'm going to skip 4.1 and jump to 4.2. Okay, for the lesson, solving simultaneous linear equation by substitution method. Okay, by substitution method. Okay, now I will explain to the class next time why I chose to go through substitution method first. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make use of this set of notes, which I will also send to everyone via WhatsApp and email. Okay. This set of notes. Now, in the meantime, okay, I would like you to start copying. Okay, start copying this into your notes. Now, since this is not printed out for everyone, okay, I'll need everyone to copy everything down into your notebook. Okay, all right. So just maybe for the first time round when you watch the video, do not copy anything, just listen. Okay, then as you watch the video the second round, you can start copying. Okay, at any point you can even pause the video. Okay, because you need more time to do your copying. Okay. All right, now let's go through some basics. Now this is an example of an equation. Okay, in this equation it says 3x equals to 4y plus 5. Okay, 3x equals to 4y plus 5. Now in this equation, let's first identify what is the left hand side of the equation. Now this is the equal sign. All right, so on the left hand side we have the term 3x. Okay, 3x. Now what about the right hand side of the equation? Okay, so in the equation, this is the equal sign. So the right hand side is 4y plus 5. Okay, so now that we have identified the left hand side and the right hand side, okay, the next thing I want to identify is what are the unknowns? Okay, what are the variables in the equation? Okay, so the numbers 3, the numbers 4, the numbers 5, they are not the unknowns. Okay, in fact, 3 is called the coefficient of x, while 4 is the coefficient of y. Okay, so the unknowns, okay, or you can also call them the variables. Okay, the unknowns are basically x and y. So there are two unknowns. There are two variables in this equation. Okay, so now we have identified the left hand side, the right hand side, and the unknowns, okay, in the equation. Okay, now I'm going to start talking about solving simultaneous linear equation. Okay, now when we solve a pair of simultaneous linear equations, now note that I mentioned a pair. Okay, a pair means that there will be two equations. Okay, now to solve the equation means to find the values. Okay, the values of the unknowns, the variables. Okay, we want to find the values of the variables, and usually, and not just usually, but every time, we will be given two equations. Okay, there will always be two equations. All right, so ultimately we want to find the values of the variables in the two equations. Okay, let's look at this example. Okay, now this is one example of solving simultaneous linear equation. Now in the first equation, it says y equals to 4x minus 7. Okay, in this equation, there are two unknowns, which are x and y. Now, then I've written this down. long dash bracket 1. Now what this means is that I have labeled, this means that I've labeled this equation to be equation 1. Okay. Now the second equation says y equals to 3x plus 5. Once again, there are two unknowns, x and y. Now I'm going to give this second equation a name. I'll call it equation 2. Okay, by drawing this long dash bracket 2, it means that I'm giving this equation a name. I'm calling it equation 2. Okay, now to summarize, notice that there are how many unknowns? 2. There are two unknowns, x and y. Okay, x and y in the equation, x and y. All right, so these two are our unknowns. Okay. Now, from page 2 onwards, okay, we're now at page 1. Okay, page 2 onwards, we will learn how to find the values of x and y. Okay, but for now, on the first page, we're going to learn how to check the answers. Okay, after we have found the values of x and y, okay, means after you have solved the whole question and we got the answers for x and y, we want to check if the answers are correct. Okay, how? Simply by substituting the values of x and y back into the equations given to us. Okay, we're going to substitute the answers back into the equations. And then we want to check if both the left hand side and the right hand side of the equation are equal. Okay, we want to check if the left hand side and the right hand side are equal. So I'm going to use the same example here. Given the two equations, y equals to 4x minus 7 and y equals to 3x plus 5. Okay, now let's say we have solved the question, okay, and we are going to check if our answers are correct. Okay, now I've done some calculation on my own and I found the answers to be x equals to 12 and y equals to 41. Yes, there must be two answers, okay, one answer for x and one answer for y. Now, we want to check if these answers are correct. How do we do that? Okay. Okay, now I'm going to prepare the equation, the first equation. I'm going to prepare the second equation. Now, for each of the equation, I'm going to break up the equation into two parts. Finding the left-hand side and finding the right-hand side. Okay. Now, let's see. Now, in this equation, y equals to 4x minus 7. Okay. Y is on our left-hand side. So I write down left-hand side equals to y. And just now we found the value of y to be 41. So I will write down 41 here. Okay. Now, what about the right-hand side of the equation? It says 4x minus 7. So I'm going to write it down, 4x minus 7 on the right-hand side. Now, there's still an unknown, which is x. Okay, so I'm going to first replace x with brackets. Okay, so I've written down 4 bracket minus 7. Now, what should I write the value? What should I write for the value of x? I'm going to try this, 12. Okay, I'm going to put the number 12 inside the bracket. Now, this is where you press your calculator and check. 4 times 12 minus 7. What is your answer? Now, we're going to do the same thing for the other equation. Y equals to 3x plus 5. Okay, so once again, on the left hand side, we have y. So the left hand side says y. And we knew that the value of y is simply 41. So I write down 41 here. Okay. Now, what about the right hand side of the equation? It says 3x plus 5. So I'm going to write down 3x plus 5 for the right hand side. And instead of the letter x, I will replace x with brackets. Inside the bracket, what should I write? What's the value of x that we found just now? So it's number 12. So I'm going to write the number 12 within the brackets. Okay, so this is where you key into the calculator and calculate the value of 3 times 12 plus 5. Now, did you notice that this answer equals to this answer? Okay, so these two for this equation, the left hand side and the right hand side have the same value, 41. What about this side? Okay, for this equation, the left hand side is 41, the right hand side is also 41. Okay, so these two numbers are again the same. So finally, since the left hand side equals to the right hand side for both equations, we are very sure that x equals to 12 and y equals to 41 are the answers. Okay, so this is a set of answer. Okay, now this is checking the answer. Okay, this whole part is about checking the answer. I'm going to just draw a big box around this. This whole part is about checking the answer. No field. Okay, outline. Okay, so now for the first time, I'm going to show you how we're going to solve simultaneous linear equations using substitution method. Okay, now so usually in the question you'll be given two equations. Okay, now and then what I'll do is I'll first label one of the equations equation 1. Okay, wow. Okay, so I have equation 1 and I'm going to call the second equation equation 2. Okay, so when I say I'm going to refer to equation 1, you know I'm referring to this. And when I say I want to refer to equation 2, you know I'm referring to this. Okay, now for both equations, and notice that both of them start with y equals to. Okay, y equals to. Now it means that both of them, they happen to have the same subject. And the subjects in both equations are y. Now, such question rarely comes out during exam, very rarely. Okay, this is considered quite easy. Okay, so now from equation 1, okay, from equation 1, I have the equation y equals to 4x minus 7. I'm going to just write it down first. Okay, now then I'm going to refer to the second equation. The second equation also starts with y. It says y equals to 3x plus 5. Okay, now in the second equation, since it starts with the subject y, okay, and this is the same as this subject, okay, so what I'm going to do is, okay, I'll first copy this down, okay, but this time around, I'm going to replace the value of y, okay. Okay, so you notice that the right hand side stays as 4x minus 7, but I'm going to replace the letter y. Okay, I'm going to replace it with, now what does equation 2 says again? Y equals to 3x plus 5. So I'm going to replace the letter y here with 3x plus 5. Okay, so you see I have successfully substituted equation 2 into equation 1. Okay, so this step is called substitute 2 into 1. All right, so this is what this step is called. Okay, I started with equation 1. Okay, maybe I should just write down working. Okay, so this is my working. Okay, I started with equation 1. I wrote down y equals to 4x minus 7. So I'm going to start working on this line. And then the next step, what I did was to substitute equation 2 into equation 1. Now, why can I do that? Okay, why can I do that? Because equation 2 starts with the letter y. Okay, and this letter y coincides with, can be found here in equation 1. So I'm going to replace this letter y in equation 1 with 3x plus 5 from equation 2. Now let's look at this equation now. This equation does not contain the letter y at all. It only contains the letter x. Okay, so with only one variable in the equation, I can actually solve it. Okay, we have solved this equation before. We have solved equations involving only one variable before. Okay, now let's see how I do this. Now, to solve this equation, it means to find the value of x. Okay, so I want to have only x on the left hand side. Okay, so here is to get rid of the positive, the plus 5, I'm going to minus 5 on both sides of the equation. Okay, I'm going to minus 5 on both sides of the equation. Now, why did I do that? Because I'm trying to eliminate this positive 5. Now let's see, what's plus 5 minus 5? 0. Okay, so they are gone. Next, what is minus 7 minus 5? Okay, if you press a calculator, minus 7 minus 5 gives you negative 12, minus 12. Okay, so, okay, now this equation has definitely become shorter. Okay, 3x equals to 4x minus 12. The next term I want to get rid of is this 4x. Why? Because we should only have x term on the left hand side. Okay, I don't want this x term on the right hand side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to minus, okay, I'm going to minus 4x on both sides. Okay, minus 4x on the left hand side, minus 4x on the right hand side. Okay, now why did I do that? Because 4x minus 4x gives us 0. Okay, now what about 3x minus 4x? This is where you key into the calculator 3 minus 4, and it gives you negative 1. Okay, negative x equals to negative 12. Okay, so now we've come to the last step. Okay, since negative x equals to negative 12, now bear in mind we do not want x to be a negative term. I want to turn it into positive. So I will change the signs of every single term. If it was negative, it now becomes positive. As for negative 12, the same goes. If it was negative, it now becomes positive. Okay, so now I have found the value of x to be 12. Oops. Now, is this the end? No, okay. If you remember, back on the first page, we have mentioned before that to solve a pair of simultaneous linear equation is to find the values of the variables in the two equations. And how many variables are there? There are two variables, okay? And they are usually x and y. So now that we have found the value of x, I still got to find the value of y, okay? So now to find the value of y, I can make use of any of this equation. I can use equation 1, I can also use equation 2, and the outcomes will be the same. Okay, so perhaps I'll work on equation 1. Okay, I'm going to work on equation 1. Now equation 1 says y equals to 4x minus 7. Okay, all right. Now I'm in the next line. Okay, I'm going to replace the value of x. I'm going to replace x with a pair of brackets. Okay, very important here. Okay, whenever I do substitution, you know, Mr. Tan's habit, I always replace x with brackets. Now, what goes inside the bracket is the value of x, which I found to be 12 just now. Okay, I'm going to key in 12 here. So now you press a key into the calculator, 4 times 12 minus 7. Okay, and you will get 41. Okay, so now that I found both of the values, okay, for x and y, I'm gonna write down in my answer x equals to 12 while y equals to 41. Okay, and that's it. I have solved this equation. Okay, now now that I have gone through the basics on page 1 and I've gone through the first example here, okay, I would like everyone to try question 1b on your own, okay, using the same techniques that I have used in question 1a, okay. Okay, I would like you to try question 1b, of course, on your own notebook. All right. All right. So this marks the end of my lesson. Okay. My homework for you guys is just to settle this question. Now tomorrow, I will proceed to go through other questions with you. All right. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye.